Grana Wheat Nitty Bong, and welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things Transformers and Transformers action figure related. But today we are not going to talk about action figures. We're going to talk about the brand new Transformers versus the Terminator comic from the IDW publishing. So I managed to actually get my hands on a copy of this week, episode 1. So I got cover B for those of you who collect all the different covers. So you can see the picture on the screen now. I got the one with the Terminator on the front, on the pile of skulls and Ironhide's head, and all of the Terminator stuff going on in the background. Really interesting comic. I'm going to split this into two parts, this review. So guys, I will start off by trying to do a bit of a non-spoiler review for everybody, and then I'll give you a warning, and then we'll kind of dip into spoilers. So the comic itself is the first of 4 parts. It's written by the team over at IDW. So I'm not quite up to date with all of the IDW comics that are going around at the moment, but I know they didn't work on the last ones that I bought, which were the Ghostbusters crossover. I tend to like a lot of these crossover ones, and this one really did catch my interest around what are they going to do, how are they going to make that work. Now, what's quite interesting is this story is set at the beginning of both franchises, so that's about as much as I'll go into on this side of the spoiler section. But just so that you know that if you know where Transformers starts and you know kind of where Terminator starts, then that's where this sits. It's not set after or before. It's not like up to date, set after the latest Terminator movies. This is set right at the beginning of the Transformers and right at the beginning of Terminator. All in all, I think it was quite a good read. I'm very intrigued to see where the story goes. It's, like I say, it's the first of 4 parts. For those of you who love Terminator and those of you who love Transformers, then there's some nice little callbacks to both franchises, some nice bits of humor. If you did read the Ghostbusters one, even though it's different people that have wrote this, it's very similar with the callbacks to certain things from each one of them. I'm really looking forward to the second one that should be dropping out. This one is called The Enemy of My Enemy. If you want to pick it up, I picked mine up on eBay, and it was it came bang on time, and I cannot wait now for the second installment, which I think drops next week. And it certainly ends on a bit of a cliffhanger, this one, so it'll be great to see where they go with this story. But I would definitely say pick this one up, guys, especially if you like the crossovers, if you like something a little bit different, and if you're a lover of Terminator and if you're a lover of Transformers. The art style in this I really like. It's a really nice looking art style that they've done. So the art's by Alex Malini. It's a really nice art. It's a little different to some of the IDW stuff, but the Terminators and the Transformers all the way through this, and the humans, the art is really good. IDW, for me, they always do some nice looking art. So really interesting story and really interesting art. So guys, if you do not want any spoilers for Transformers versus the Terminator, then I suggest that you click off the video right now, because we're about to get into spoiler territory. So we open the comic and it's Los Angeles 2029. We see a human running through the battlefield, and we see an exterminated Jazz tilted on his side while the human hides behind Jazz. On the next page, we see complete and utter devastation. We see Transformers, things from the Terminator universe just absolutely wrecked up. Two of the most prominent ones being Bumblebee and Cosmos, just wrecked up. Then, out of nowhere, the human meets a Terminator. It's at this point that we actually find out that he is a Terminator. He's then taken to Skynet's Omega base, which is the last stronghold of the Resistance. The Terminators, we now find, are the Resistance, which is a pretty cool take on it. But the Resistance about what? What are they the Resistance of? We soon find out when the Decepticons attack the base. Now, the Decepticons attack the base with Insecticons and Seekers, but these are not your normal Seekers. These Seekers are so cool. These Seekers are obviously Starscream, Thundercracker and Skywarp. However, these are in the shape of hunter killers. This is something that is extremely cool. For me, this is the coolest part of this comic. I really hope that they get released as figures, because if they do, they will be number one on my list to buy. I'll share some pictures at the end of it of what each Seeker looks like, but right now you should see what the Seekers look like. So Starscream and the other ones attack, and a fight ensues between the Terminators and the Decepticons. During this battle, our Terminator escapes, and our Terminator escapes to Los Angeles 1984. Now in Los Angeles 1984, this is where we meet Sarah Connor for the first time. Sarah Connor is currently working in a diner, and Sarah Connor has a bit of a dispute with one of the consumers. She then follows the consumer outside to his big rig, where he gets a little bit physical with her, but the Terminator steps in because of course he wants his clothes. He attacks the guy and saves Sarah Connor from a gun blast. Then he gets the clothes and disappears, of course, in the big red truck. At this point, we find out that he takes Sarah Connor with him so that he can find where a local volcano is. He's trying to stop the local volcano from erupting, or get into the local volcano before it erupts. He's traveling along the road, and he actually sees it's too late. The volcano has already erupted, and he has to run right the way through a police blockage to actually get there. He knows he has no time left. He knows that the end is now coming. After running the police roadblock, the Terminator then sees Sky Spy over the top, and Sky Spy quickly scans the vehicle. The Terminator goes out, shoots Sky Spy down, sending Sky Spy hurtling into the side of the truck. Even though the Terminator has shot Sky Spy down, because the truck was scanned, the Terminator knows it's too late. The Cybertronians have awakened, their greatest enemy. So we've learned that Skynet has risen up and seen the Cybertronians as the biggest enemy, as the biggest threat, not the humans. So that's why they are the Resistance, and he is now there to terminate them, to terminate the Cybertronians. Then we end the comic with a visual of Megatron, Starscream, Soundwave, Thundercracker, Prime on his back, and then also a couple of other Decepticons as well, and the Terminator standing right in front of them. So that's the cliffhanger. So in the next episode, what do you think will happen? For me, I think this is a really interesting take on the whole Terminators and Transformers, that Skynet necessarily isn't evil. Skynet is there to take out what it sees as the biggest threat. In this, it sees the Transformers as the biggest threat. But what we need to know is, do they see the Cybertronians? So Are the Terminators going to go against the Autobots and Decepticons? Or is it that they suddenly realise that the Autobots are friends? Are the Autobots and Decepticons going to join together against the Terminators? Who knows? He doesn't say necessarily that he's there to kill the Decepticons. He says he's there to terminate the Cybertronians, which leads me to believe that Skynet sees all Cybertronians as the same threat, not just the Decepticons. All in all, I'm really excited by this. I think it's a really interesting way to tell this story. I think it's great that they've started right at the beginning of both franchises. So the volcano has just erupted, Sky Spy has just scanned everybody. The only live Autobot that we've seen so far is Optimus Prime, so it'll be interesting to see who else Sky Spy has managed to scan. But it's very cool, interesting story, and I'm really looking forward to the rest of it. So guys, let me know what you think down in the comments, and again, like I said, like, share and subscribe around here. I'll also have that picture of the Seekers right at the end. So guys, thanks a lot for checking out my video, and I'll speak to you next time. See you in a bit. Peace.